Delhi Services Bill is going to come up sometime later in the Rajya Sabha as well. Was cleared in the Lok Sabha where the government had the numbers. But what does this really mean as far as the federal structure debate is concerned? Joining us right now is Aam Aadmi Party MP, Mr. Raghav Chadha. Raghav, thank you so much for your time. It is very clear now that the government had an easy sailing in Lok Sabha and will have a smooth sailing, one assumes, or at least the government floor managers assume, in the Rajya Sabha as well. They have support of various non-NDA parties as well. In a situation like this, what would you have to say to political parties supporting a bill like this?
Well, what I would like to say to them is, and I would in fact want to borrow a few lines from the famous poet Rahat Indori and say that लगेगी आग तो आएंगे कई घर जद में, लगेगी आग तो आएंगे कई घर जद में, यहाँ कोई हमारा अकेला मकान थोड़ी है. Which means if this fire starts, if this experiment is successful in Delhi, it will soon be replicated in other non-BJP states, and one by one, every non-BJP run state government will be made administratively impotent. This is what this legislation is attempting to do. You are right. The government had a smooth sailing in the Lok Sabha because they had a clear mandate, a clear majority in the Lok Sabha. In the Rajya Sabha, it's not as easy as the Lok Sabha. It's a closely fought battle. Of course, the numbers may indicate as if, at least on paper, that the government has, a comfortable majority. But I would still wait for the day of polling in the Rajya Sabha. And I do hope that better sense will prevail and a lot of non-BJP political parties, non-NDA political parties will find merit in our argument. Because, quite frankly, even if it's a Odisha-based BJD or an Andhra-based YSRCP, I refuse to believe that they have done this out of choice. This is out of compulsion. You and I both have a fair idea of the compulsions that they may be undergoing at this point in time. And therefore, I had, given a statement explaining this, their compulsion, saying, कुछ तो मजबूरियां रही होंगी, यूं ही कोई बेवफा नहीं होता, जी करता है बहुत सच कहूं, क्या करूं हौसला नहीं होता. So I'm very sure they are subject to some compulsions. I do hope that they are able to resist these compulsions. That
no, so
perhaps,
are you hopeful, Raghav Chadha, that they're going to come along? Is that your hope in Rajya Sabha?
My hope is that this is, and my core belief is that this is a fight between dharma and adharma. Dharma is with us, adharma is with BJP. And for these political parties to come with us or to come and support Arvind Kejriwal or Aam Aadmi Party is not the right way to look at or approach this. I think if they oppose this legislation, if they vote against it, or even if they abstain, they are doing so for upholding India's constitution, protecting India's democracy, and preventing any assault on India's federal structure. So they will not be doing a favor to a political party or a political leader. They will be doing a favor
but
to the country.
Raghav Chadha, just reminding you a little, when this entire federal structure debate started happening and when the Aam Aadmi Party said that look what they are trying to do to Delhi, to an elected government, I'm sure you would be reminded of what Mr. Omar Abdullah had to say about you supporting the abrogation of Article 370, where the government changed the way things happened, or the orientation of Jammu and Kashmir the way it was. At that time, those political parties looked at it as an assault on the systems and the federal structure. And at that time, you supported.
Look, unfortunately for the political parties based out of Jammu and Kashmir, they had very little time to actually build a consensus or reach out to other political parties in this country who have numbers in parliament and explain their plight to them and the merits and the demerits of the move. This abrogation of 370 was introduced by virtue of a supplementary list early morning, and within 15 minutes, without any discussion, it was passed. Similarly, and as a result, the political parties based out of Jammu and Kashmir could not really reach out to every political party in the country.
Mr. Chadha, it's about moral support, and you may not be able to do much, but where do you stand on this issue? The Aam Aadmi Party stood for the abrogation.
Look, again, just let me finish my point, and I'm hopeful you'll get an answer.
Okay.
In our case, even those who were our naysayers, or even those who did not fully understand the repercussions of this Delhi services bills. It's not just about snatching one subject of administration from the government of Delhi. It is about paralyzing the government itself. It is about rendering the government ineffective by virtue of just taking one subject of administration from the government. So since we understood the ramifications, Mr. Kejriwal, along with his delegation, went to every corner of this country, knocked the door of every political leader and explained the ramifications of this. A lot of parties were brought on board. So I am in the same vein, I say that if Mr. Abdullah and others would have had the opportunity to meet people and explain their plight, of course, many political parties could perhaps have had a different view. I can't now today, in retrospect or in hindsight, comment what would have happened. Okay. But all I'm trying to say is we had a lot of time and we did the whole drill and we reached out to virtually every political party. Mr. Kejriwal traveled from Chennai to Patna to Bangalore to Bombay to every city where political leaders reside and requested them for support.
Okay, Mr. Chadha, while you live in hope that parties will come along and this may be stopped in the Rajya Sabha, assuming that the government has its way in gathering the numbers, what then becomes of Delhi? I mean, should it be seen as a state or not? Is this a state with an elected government or not? How will you view this?
The Supreme Court in its Constitution Bench judgment pronounced on the 11th of May 2023 said that Delhi is a sui generis state, which means it is a unique kind of a state. It is neither a UT nor a full state. It is somewhere in the middle. It is a UT with a legislature, all subjects of administration barring three: land, law and order and police. So therefore it's in a unique category, number one. Number two, as far as our fight vis-a-vis this bill goes, we will fight it on two battlefields. One is the legislative battlefield. The other is the judicial battlefield. Legislatively, we will oppose this in the House. We will try and ensure that this bill is defeated in the Rajya Sabha when it comes to Rajya Sabha. However, a legal battle or a judicial battle is also on. A constitution bench is being constituted for the third time. In the first two rounds, Aam Aadmi Party won handsomely. It won unanimously. And overwhelming support of the Supreme Court came in favor of the Aam Aadmi Party. Now we are entering round three. We will fight it out judicially also. But please, let's be very clear, Sanket. This is perhaps the most unconstitutional, illegal piece of legislation to be ever brought in Parliament in the form of a bill. It is an abuse of the government's ordinance-making powers. It erodes federalism. It is an assault on Westminster-style system of governance and parliamentary democracy. It is a contempt, highest contempt of the Supreme Court, and it destroys complete accountability of the civil servants in Delhi. It will render the government ineffective, and there is a reason why this is being done. And I would request you to ask this question of the BJP. In the last 25 years in Delhi, assembly elections have happened 6 times. Out of these 6 times, BJP has won 0 times. That means BJP knows that they cannot win an election in Delhi. And ever since the emergence of Aam Aadmi Party, forget the last 25 years, even the following 25 years, they can't win. So therefore, they have virtually eliminated the government so that there is no politics, there are no elections, and there is no crushing defeat given to the BJP. This is the sum and substance of also what the Honorable Home Minister yesterday said in Lok Sabha, that it is post 2015. It is post Arvind Kejriwal's coming in Delhi that we decided that we have to snatch all these powers of
Am I right in assuming, Raghav Chadha, that apart from raising this issue up in Parliament and also fighting a legal battle and seeking legal recourse, Aam Aadmi Party will fight this politically as well? For instance, just taking a cue from what you said just a short while ago, appealing to the other state governments and other political parties that this could happen to you too. Am I to understand that this is going to be your pitch?
And to be, Sanket, I don't know whether you heard every speaker who spoke in the Lok Sabha yesterday. I was very carefully listening to everyone. And I paid special attention to a member of parliament from the YSRCP, Jagan's party of Andhra Pradesh. He concluded his remarks by saying, while Delhi is a unique city-state and this bill is vis-a-vis Delhi, I wish to make an appeal to the centre. Please don't bring any such bill vis-a-vis Andhra Pradesh. He wanted to protect his state. He knows what he's doing. He knows that what their party has decided to do by issuing this whip is grossly wrong. But poor guys are subject to some compulsion, I'm sure. And as a result, he's making an appeal on the floor of the House, which has gone on record that please don't do this vis-a-vis Andhra Pradesh. And that is the fear that every non-BJP party has. That these kind of ordinances, bills, and governors and LG's offices will be used to basically subjugate all government and usurp all powers and render state governments ineffective, which everyone knows. And therefore, I think it is important all of us come together and stop this. Today, you have Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi. Aam Aadmi Party government may continue for 30 more years, 40 more years in Delhi, 50 more years. But after some time, there will come a time when, let's assume, God forbid, there's a non-Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi. What would be the plight of that government? Imagine, it is not just about Arvind Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party. It is about India's democracy and India's constitution. And my final question is, would Amit Shah ji and the BJP come out with a bill like this had there been a BJP state government in Delhi? Had the chief minister of Delhi been a person from the Bharatiya Janata Party, would Amit Shah ji and BJP would have done something what they have done by virtue of this ordinance?
I think we'll ask this question of the BJP and let's see what their response is. But Raghav Chadha, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.